Everybody, thanks for watching. Now, this is the kind of information I've been wanting to get into for a while now. And I want to talk about human energy. I want to talk about the dream world and consciousness and how meditation relates to all these things. And what is the real purpose of meditation? Now, when you start talking about body energy and meditation and stuff like that, a lot of people can look at it as being, spooky or weird or even evil. And some people usually take body energy and relate it to the soul and take it back to religion. Now, I want to explain to you about body energy, about these things on a basic level, and try to make it very easy for everybody to understand what is going on. Now, some people can pick these things up consciously, and some people have no clue, what's going on, and they do these things every single day. So now understand, body energy, human energy, is not spooky, it's not scary. It is a normal thing that has been proven to exist by science and by medicine. We actually have a biomagnetic field projecting from our heart and from our brain. Cell activity, tissue activity generates an electrical field that can be detected on the surface of the skin. Now, the laws of physics tells us that an electrical current will produce a magnetic field. So that's why we get this field around our heart and around our brain. Now, we experiment with this energy all the time. When a TV is messing up and you grab the antenna, it fixes. We take balloons and we rub it on our hair and poof, you got crazy hair all over the place. You get the balloon to stick to your hair. If you put it on the wall, it sticks to the wall. How does this work? So now understand, every single thing in the universe is made up of atoms. We're talking electrons, protons, and neutrons. You need to know that different materials have different amounts of attraction for electrons. So if you take two different materials and you rub them against each other, one will steal electrons from the other. So when you take a balloon and you rub it up against your hair, it will steal the electrons from your hair, causing your hair to become positively charged. The balloon will be negatively charged, and we know opposites attract in physics. So when you rub it up against your hair, it causes your hair to, stick to it and follow it. And since your hair is positively charged now, they won't stick together no more. They'll be kind of separated for a while. And when you rub that balloon up against the wall, the electrons in the wall will basically move to a different position behind the atom, causing that area on the surface to become positively charged, and you can stick the balloon to it, for a while now. Now, it'll stick there for hours if there's no moisture. So this really works in a dry atmosphere, a dry room, because if it's any moisture, the moisture in the air will steal the charge from the balloon. So there's proof positive that we are more than just material beings. We are more than just physical beings. We are, in fact, energetic beings made up of billions and billions of atoms. Now, the thing is, this pen is also made up of atoms. So how is it that we can walk and talk and function and this pen cannot? And that is because of consciousness. We are aware of ourselves. This pen is not aware that it exists. It's not aware of itself. So we are aware, we are conscious. But the thing is, are we conscious of our consciousness? Are we conscious of the fact that we are conscious? And what I mean by that is when we examine the subconscious and the conscious, the subconscious and the conscious is totally separate. The subconscious basically takes in all the information, it decodes things, and it sometimes passes that information to the consciousness. So the thing is, you can pick up and learn songs. Your subconscious can learn a song without your conscious even knowing it. So you don't physically sit down and try to write out the words to a song, but next thing you know the words to a song, and you sang in a song, and you didn't actually go and set out to try to learn it. It's because your subconscious picked up on the words, picked up on the song. Now, this is why we mess up a lot of words to songs as well, because we didn't consciously learn the song. We didn't consciously write down the words. And our subconscious told our conscious what we think or what it thinks the word is. So when we actually go and do the research, it's like, oh, that's what that word was. That's what he said. Because we went and did the actual conscious research, if you understand what I'm saying. So when you go to sleep, your subconscious takes over. Your subconscious projects the dream world. You are not conscious of the dream world. You can remember and recall the dream, but you are not conscious within the dream. You don't understand that at the exact moment that you are dreaming, really in reality, in consciousness, you are in the bed sleep. You in the bed, under the cover, wrapped up, balled up, whatever, knocked out. You have no clue that you are dreaming when you are in the dream world, because your subconscious has taken over, and your consciousness and your subconscious is not one yet. That's what meditation is going to come and fix. You are not aware of self yet. This is what this whole thing is about. You have to become controlling of the dream world. You have to control that world. When you control that world, you are a powerful being. That's what you will become. And it is very hard to get to this point. And I'm going to get into this. That's why I'm getting into this thing on a small level, so you can understand, so you can build up to this point, because it's going to take you decades to do what I'm talking about. So the whole thing is, if you actually try to write out and draw what downtown looks like, if you try to draw to an exact detail specification of what your living room looks like, what downtown looks like, what your high school looks like, you won't be able to do it. Yet when you go to sleep and you enter that dream world, you are in a real world. Your subconscious has projected downtown almost to an exact specification where it seems real. It seems like you are really downtown, or it seems like you're really in that barbershop, or you really are at school. But if you try to do it consciously, you can't. So when we're talking about spirits and when we're talking about souls, we are talking about consciousness. So when you think about consciousness, think about it as like a symbiote attached to the body. And once attached to the body, it becomes like a battery to keep the body charged, because it needs the body to stay here in this physical and material world. So once the body gets, hurt or old or tired, the subconscious will put your body in the dream state, in the dream world, so it can heal it. So when people get like badly damaged, when their body get messed up real bad, they go into a coma first, because the subconscious is desperately trying to heal the body. And when it can't, it will just leave. Now, the reason why the subconscious has to put you to sleep is because consciously, you don't know how to heal yourself. Consciously, you don't know how to restore your energy. When people get tired, they get a cup of coffee. Some people take some kind of pills or do something to give themselves more energy, because naturally they don't know how to recharge. They don't know how to get more energy. So the subconscious has to put you to sleep so it can take over, so it can perform the task of healing you and giving you more energy. So when you wake up, you just, almost like a new person. So the implications are, if we had full control of our subconscious, if our conscious and our subconscious was basically one, and we knew what our subconscious knew, we knew how to tap into that energy to heal ourselves and to give ourselves more energy. If we consciously knew how to do this, then we could basically heal our body and get more energy without having to go to sleep. Now we need to understand how amazing this is when a body heals itself, when a scar repairs itself. If you take a knife and you slice the couch, it's not going to magically sew itself back together. If you rip a piece of paper, it's not going to fix itself. Now, science and medicine tell us that, when we get a scar, that the cells in our body will basically regenerate that area and repair it. But what's taking place is you have action occurring without you physically doing anything. So when we have a rip or tear in our jeans, we physically sew it back together. But when you get a scar on your arm, you don't physically do anything. It happens. The cells regenerate the necrotic area or the damaged area, and it repairs the skin without anybody touching or moving anything. This happens consciously. Your subconscious heals this whole wound. So, if a plate fly across the room, or if a chair start flying, we would call it magic, or we would say it's some kind of demons or something like that. But since this happens on a microscopic level, we don't realize what's taking place. We don't realize what's going on. But there are things actually moving. There are things actually repairing and replacing other things. There's physical movement taking place without us physically doing anything. Now, if I was to get a knife and slice the arm of a dead man, nothing would happen. That scar would not heal itself. So this is just more proof positive that we are more than just a material physical being. And this is not something that happens normally within our skin. This is proof positive that we have an energetic being within us that is making these things happen. We have a consciousness or a subconscious that is repairing our body and repairing our skin, repairing our organs. So now when you think about this thing in terms of, just energy or energy fields. You got to look at viruses and look at diseases the same exact way. They also carry like an energy with them. So it's like once you catch a disease or a virus, it doesn't really attack you right away. You be around somebody with a cold, the next day you got a cold, but it's not right away. You might eat some food, then a few hours later you might start feeling sick. It's because the energy of that virus, the energy of that disease, it takes time to get through the energy field of your body. Now, in the 1920s and 30s, a man named Harold Saxon Burr, he was basically a researcher at Yale University of Medicine. Now, he was talking about detecting diseases within the energy field of the body before it attacks the physical body. His research is basically saying that a virus is a small microscopic living organism. So it's small, it's living, but it emits a magnetic field. It has a energy. So when it's trying to attack us, it has to go through our body's energy field where it should be detected. It can be detected. So now a few years later, they came up with a device called the Superconducting Quantum Interference Device, or SQUID for short. It's a Squid Magnetometer, which basically can measure small amounts of magnetic energy or magnetic fields. It can pick up on the tiniest energy signatures. So what happens is this virus attacks your energy. It attacks you while you are conscious, while you are awake and walking around in class or at the park or something like that. You are not aware that it's attacking you, but next thing you know, you're sick, you start coughing, or you wake up sick. Now, if you have full control of your subconscious and of your energy, then you would detect this virus when it's attacking your energy, and then you can get rid of it before it affects your body. This is the implications that Harold was talking about. This is what Saxon Burr was trying to mention in his report and in his experiments. He was trying to show that there's an energy that attacks our energy before it affects the body. And since we are not conscious enough to recognize this energy, our subconscious is not in control of our body or of that energy on a conscious level. So we can't really do anything until it starts to affect us, till it takes shape, till it's too late. Then our subconscious could, start to heal itself when we go to sleep, or we could take medicine or whatever to help us, fight that disease. So I said all that and gave you all of that information so you can understand that when we speak about energy, when we speak about consciousness, it's not something that is spooky. It is not something that is evil. It is something that is real, something that is normal and has been backed up by science. And it's proven. You prove it every day when you heal yourself. You prove it every day when you go to sleep. So now this is going to bring me into the whole dream world. So we need to really understand what's taking place when we go to sleep and how amazing it is. We just really take for granted how powerful, how amazing dreams are. We have a dream, go to sleep, we dream about, fighting Godzilla or fighting Freddy Krueger or turning into, Incredible Hulk and knocking down buildings and flying through the air and all kinds of stuff like that. And then we just wake up and we go about our lives to forget about that amazing dream just happened. And to me, it's just like, it's one of the most amazing things that occurs, in our life. It's when we go to sleep. So when you go to sleep and enter the dream world, as I said, it is your subconscious that takes over. And it's your subconscious basically giving you an analysis. It's giving you a report of everything that you're taking in, everything that your subconscious has been learning. So you have to realize that your subconscious will absorb things that mean a lot to you. Like if you have a lot of hope for something, if you have fear of something, especially fear, that's a big one. If you have a fear of something, your subconscious will take that in and it will hold it because you did not deal with it on a conscious level. So if you are afraid of your girlfriend leaving, if you're afraid that if you don't pay these bills, then you get kicked out on the street, because you did not take care of it on a conscious level, your subconscious will hold on to it and project it out to you in the dream world so you can deal with it. because it needs to get rid of it. So you'll start to dream about, losing your house, or, getting in a fight with your girlfriend, or breaking up. Now, when we take care of these things on a conscious level, if we get the money to pay our rent so we don't get kicked out on the street, if we talk to our boyfriend or girlfriend and straighten things out so we don't break up, then we take care of these things so the subconscious doesn't have to suppress it and then project it out in the dream world for us to deal with. This is why we have these, scary dreams and dreams of things that we fear, because subconsciously we hold it in and we don't deal with it on a conscious level. It's the same thing when you watch a scary movie. You don't realize sometimes how much you are scared of the movie, or scared of something that happened in the movie happening to you. So you suppress it subconsciously, and then next thing you know, you go to sleep and you're dreaming about Freddy Krueger. He's chasing you down the street. So if you don't come to the realization on a conscious level that this movie is not real, it's not something that can actually happen to you. Freddy Krueger is not real. He's just an actor. If you don't come to the realization, if you don't come to terms with the fact that, hey, I might get kicked out of my place if I don't get this money. I might break up with my girlfriend. This might happen to me. If you don't deal with it and say, you know what, I'm going to do everything I can to deal with this. I'm going to combat this the best way I can. I'm going to go here. I'm going to work here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to go buy flowers. I'm going to do that. If you don't deal with this stuff consciously, your subconscious will suppress it. You have to understand, anything that you love to do or enjoy to do, it will take in. Anything that you fear, envy, that you are jealous of, that you are scared of, your subconscious will take mental note of that, because you need to deal with it. It will suppress it and project it out to you in the dream world so you can deal with it. Your subconscious is constantly trying to make you aware of it. The problem is, once you enter the dream world, it's so real that you act accordingly. Now, if you understood on a conscious level that Freddy Krueger is not real, It the Clown is not real, you cannot fly, soon as you enter the dream world and these things start to happen, you will look around and say, hey, wait a minute, this ain't real. Or you say, wait a minute, you died 2 years ago. What are you doing here? You will immediately become aware. You will become conscious, and these things would not work. You will realize what your subconscious was trying to do, and you could deal with it, and it would just go away. There was a movie that came out last year called Divergent. Now, Divergent was these people, they were soldiers. And the whole difference between them and the other soldiers were, when they put them in this dream state, they would realize that they were dreaming. So they would induce these nightmares, and they would realize that, hey, wait a minute, this ain't real. And they would wake up immediately. Now, the problem was, somebody was trying to control their physical body. But because they was aware and conscious in a dream state, they could not do so. So they tried to kill all the people who were divergent, because they couldn't control their physical body, because they had control of the dream world. So now the reason why meditation is important, because it allows you to deal with the subconscious on a conscious level. It allows you to almost simulate the dream state, so that you can deal with your subconscious without all of the mumbo jumbo, without all of the interference. Now, you will, of course, still dwell on things. You will try to meditate, and your mind will go to different things. I know a lot of people tell you to clear your mind when you meditate. Yes, try to clear your mind. But whatever happens after you have a blank black room, whatever starts to happen after that, allow it to happen. Allow yourself to go into whatever happens. That's your subconscious again, projecting something, or your conscious self thinking of something. That's why when you meditate, you start out with nothing, and then your mind will linger. Whatever your mind is lingering towards, stick with it. Don't think it's just something clouding your head or whatever. Stick with it, but you have to consciously stay aware of what's happening. Let it happen. Whatever takes place, let it happen. Let it consciously happen, but stay in control. So once you are in a meditative state and you are meditating on what your subconscious and conscious mind is putting out, you can deal with those things on a conscious level. You can walk, you can fly, you can do whatever it is that you do in the dream world, but in meditation, consciously. So when you have these bad dreams, you should write them down. You should meditate on them. You should meditate on what's bothering you. You should meditate on questions you are trying to answer, and really seriously start to think about them and deal with them on a conscious level inside of meditation. So once you go to sleep and you start dreaming, you start to become conscious of what's taking place because you had to practice in the meditative state. So once that dream comes along about whatever you're scared of, whatever you are afraid of, you will remember from meditation that experience of you dealing with it. You will recall it and you will act accordingly. You will be able to deal with that problem. Now, once you start becoming more and more familiar with the meditative state, once you start meditating more and more, you will start to see changes in the dream. You will start to see it affect the dream world. The dream world will become more clear. It will become in better detail. Things will be much more clearer than ever before. Conversations will be more clear. Things will start to make more sense until eventually you will become conscious in the dream world. Now, what's going to start to happen is once you become conscious in the dream state, you will start to immediately wake up. That will become a problem. As soon as you realize something is not real, as soon as you realize something is not right, you will always wake up. Just like when you are scared awake or when something happens that frightens you, into waking up out of the dream state. Now, I think the problem with that is, because I ran into this issue, is that you need to really start to meditate on worst fears. And I hate to say it like that, but whatever worst fears is, whatever it is that pops you out of your dream, you need to really meditate on those things. You need to really dwell on them. Just sit down, meditate, and really focus on your most absolute fears. What is the scariest things? What really bothers you? I know that's going to be hard for some people, but this is how you get past that, because you need to deal with what's going to pop you out of your dream or what's going to shock you. The reason why you wake up once you become conscious, because you just became conscious that you are in this dream world and it just blew your mind. So now once you start dealing with these nightmares and dealing with these things that really bother you, dealing with these worst fears and dealing with these things that really, really control or affect you on a subconscious level, then they won't manifest in the dream world. So you got to deal with these things consciously. Deal with them in a meditative state so they won't come back and bother you later in the dream world. And if they do, then you would know how to deal with them. You can look at certain things and say, you know what, this is not real. I'm not going to let it bother me or affect me, and you can do away with them. So now once we start looking at the subconscious and the consciousness, we can put them into two categories. Now, your subconscious would basically be like the real you, the all-powerful, all-knowing you. And then your consciousness will be more like your self-consciousness or your body consciousness. It's the regular you every day, aware that you're walking down the street, aware that you're eating, aware of what's going on around you. That will be your self-consciousness. So once you start to meditate, once you really start to meditate a lot, you begin to really stimulate the pineal gland, the third eye. So understand, the pineal gland secretes hormones that modulates the state of consciousness. The hormone that stabilizes waking consciousness is serotonin. Now, serotonin is produced by glands in the body, by several different glands in the body. Now, the pineal gland stores a high concentration of serotonin, then converts it into melatonin, the hormone that does what? Stabilizes the dream state. So, the secretion of the melatonin hormone is caused by what? The stimulation of the pineal gland. And melatonin will only flow in what? Darkness. So you have to meditate, you have to dream, you have to go to sleep. This is why meditation is important. Now understand, the pineal gland also produces a more complex form of melatonin called metatonin. Now melatonin puts the self-consciousness to sleep while the body functions. While you sleep, your body breathes, your organs function, you heal and you rest. But metatonin allows the self-consciousness to stay awake and attached from the physical body while in the dream state. Now, we produce melatonin every night, but metatonin is very rare. In fact, there's a component in your blood that actually attacks it almost immediately. Now, scientists know all about metatonin, but because the blood attacks it and it's located in the middle part or the middle of your brain, it is hard for them to get a sample before the blood attacks it. So as you continue to meditate and as you continue to start dealing with these issues and problems in the meditative state on a conscious level, you will begin to stimulate the pineal gland. You will begin to stimulate the third eye, but you will also begin to awaken other energies within you. So these other energies are what people call chakras. Now, chakras is basically just energies, but we got to really look at the way energy work and understand how we feel energy every single day. You feel energy all the time. We just know it as, emotions or, feelings. But if you ever been in a room with your boyfriend or girlfriend and they are upset, you can feel that energy coming from them. You can feel it. It affects you. It feels bad. It feels some type of way. You don't know what happened. You didn't ask them any questions, but you can feel that they are upset. You can feel that something is wrong. And it'll cause you to say, hey, what's going on? Or to leave that person alone. But we can feel that energy. You can feel the energy when you're watching a TV show or you're watching a movie. You can feel the energy that it puts out. It affects your body in some way. A lot of people just shake it off as well as just emotions. Or I'm just tripping. It's just something that's normal. But this is energy. Meditation will help you deal with these energies and help you, do away with them if you don't want to feel them. So now let me put it to you this way, make you understand a little bit more. Now, have you ever thought you lost something really important, like rent money, or like something that was really important, or really, something that meant a whole lot to you? You thought that you lost it, it was gone, it was missing, you dropped it somewhere. So you start looking around frantically, all crazy, like, oh my God, where are my keys? Oh my God, where my wallet at? Oh my God, where that necklace at? So you start looking around crazy, but there's a feeling inside of you that starts to develop. A fear of worrying. You start to worry, you start to panic. The feeling is not good. You start to stress out. You really begin to panic and you start looking around frantically. And then when you find it, when you find the money or you find your keys or you find whatever, there's this overwhelming feeling of relief. I found it, here I go. Okay, let me go do what I gotta do. It's a feeling of relief, a euphoria that comes over you like, okay, good, woo, found it. Now, think about this in a different way. Think about being able to deal with that issue right away. Like as soon as you lost that money or you lost those keys, imagine having an understanding of what happened. Instead of you panicking, you understand what just took place on a conscious level. So you don't deal with that negative energy. You don't deal with that panic. You say to yourself, you know what, this happened. I lost my money. I lost my keys. Maybe they might be around here somewhere. Let me look consciously. So meditation will help you start to deal with these negative emotions or these negative energies. It will help you deal with them consciously so you won't have to feel the pain of them. Feeling worried or being scared or being stressed out about something is a negative energy. Don't nobody like to feel these things. Now, I'm not saying that we should become robots and have no emotions or feelings. Not at all. I'm saying that we should take these feelings, these emotions, and deal with them consciously on a conscious level, like mentally. So you put your shoes on every single day. Do you stress out when you put your shoes on? No, because you've been doing it every day since you've been 5 years old. It's a normal everyday thing that you keep doing continuously. You do it with repetition. So if you meditate and you start dealing with these issues that worry you and bother you, you start doing it with repetition and focusing on that issue, then it will become just like putting on shoes. It'll be something that you're just not going to worry about because you have come to terms with the outcome of that emotion. So what is going to be the outcome of you losing your keys? What is going to be the end result of all the emotional stress, all of the pain that you feel, got you tearing up your apartment, throwing stuff all over the place, trying to find these keys? What is the ultimate outcome going to be? Either you're going to find the keys or you might have to pay some money. You might have to call a locksmith. You might have to call up a friend who has a spare key, something to that effect. But that will be the solution. That will be the end result of what's going to happen with the whole keys being lost. So now the whole idea behind meditation is to bypass the reaction and go straight to the solution. So you lose your keys, you want to skip all of the emotional pain. You want to skip the trauma, the stress, and the worry and go straight to the solution on a conscious level and consciously understand immediately that, hey, I might have to do this. I might have to do that. I might have to pay some money. Skip all the emotional pain. This is what Fortune 500 CEOs do. This is what critical thinking people do. They skip all of the emotion and go straight to the solution. So you have problems, skip reaction, go straight to solution. This is what meditation will help you with. So now these emotions, these energies affect people in different ways. Some people react differently to different situations. Some people respond in a negative way. Some people respond in a positive way. And what I mean by that is some people, when the pressure is on, they rise to the occasion. Some people don't panic. They just, they get a heightened sense of awareness, more focused when things go wrong. And then you get some people that just panic. They freak out. They don't know what to do. It's like if you're holding a glass of water and it's about to fall. Some people panic so much, they feel that energy. Like as soon as the cup starts to fall, it's like an energy that takes over. Like you feel it inside of, oh my goodness, it's about to land all over the place. And they panic and they just spill all over the place. But then some people, they get focused, they catch the glass. So it's simple like, you're catching a pen. You don't panic. It's just something normal that happens. Something normal that you deal with every single day. Oh, well, the glass is going to fall. Let me try to catch it. If I can't, shit going to get wet. So this is what I mean when I talk about energy. Just normal, everyday energy that we experience every day. But we equate it to our emotions or our feelings. So when you look at the chakras, when you look at the 7 chakras, we can see that they deal with normal stuff that we're going to have to deal with in this material and physical world, stuff that we need to master the energy of. So you need to master the energy of these things in order for you to really start to activate your chakras. So when you look at the chakras, we see the base chakra or the root chakra. It deals with the materialistic world, like earthly things like food and money. So the sacral chakra or the navel chakra is your lower abdomen. It deals with like pleasure and sexuality. Then we have the solar plexus or upper abdomen. It deals with self-esteem and self-confidence. Then we have the heart chakra. We know that at the center of the chest, it deals with love. That's that magnetic field we have right there. That's love. So then you have the throat chakra. It deals with really just expression and communication. Then you have the third eye chakra. Now, this is the big one, of course. It deals with intuition. The third eye chakra is really you combining your subconscious and your conscious together to become one, awakened being. Then you have your, of course, the 7th chakra, which is the crown chakra. That's like 7th heaven. That's the one that you really want to activate. The thing is, you can't activate that 7th chakra without first activating the other 6 chakras. Now, once you open that third eye chakra, that 6th chakra, and you start to become in tune with the energy of the earth or with the universal energy, you will then be able to get the help that you need to activate that crown chakra or that 7th chakra. And that's something I'll go into a bit more in a later video. But the third eye chakra is very important. That's the one you really need to focus on the most. It's opening that third eye so you can see energy and feel energy way better. So you can have a better understanding of what's going on in the universe and what's going on with your body. So you can figure out who you are. Know thyself. That's something the ancient Egyptians was talking about when they say know thyself. In order for you to know thyself and to truly become conscious, you have to activate that third eye. That's really important. Now, I was in Thailand earlier this year and I was visiting with the monks. And I actually visited a lot of Buddhist temples and seen a lot of monks when I was in Thailand. And, I had a lot of questions for the monks. And, once you sit down with them and get to talk to them, they cool people. A lot of them are happy to speak to Americans because they like to practice their English. They like to talk and they can talk to you for days. But they have a lot of wisdom. And I was amazed and I was impressed of their knowledge of ancient Kemet and their knowledge of, energy. So one of the things when I was talking with the monk about was about the third eye. I mean, of course, I had to really talk to him about it because these dudes supposed to be like the masters of this and they're supposed to understand what this stuff is all about. So when I asked them what's the best way to activate the third eye, to open the third eye, he said the third eye is already open. You are just not aware of it on a conscious level. So since you are not aware of it on a conscious level, you are not able to tap into it and use its full power. He said when you go to sleep at night, you close your eyes. You go to sleep. You close your eyes in darkness. But when you enter the dream world, you can almost see with the same clarity as if you was awake. You can see in the dream world, but you are not using physical eyes. Yet you can see the dream world almost clearly, perfectly clearly. What eye are you using? You are using your third eye. You are seeing, but you are not conscious that you are seeing and using that eye. You think you are using your regular normal eye because of the state of the dream, because of the way the subconscious mind takes over. So in order for you to use the full potential of the third eye and to understand it, you have to become conscious of it in order to fully activate it and become aware of it and use it. Now, in speaking with the monks, they actually validated a lot of the research I was doing on meditation and chakra work and opening the third eye. Now, I get a lot of questions from people about the ancient Egyptians. A lot of people believe that their third eye was open and that they somehow tapped into that power and used it to build the pyramids. Now, the thing is, our bodies have an electromagnetic course of acupuncture meridians or ley lines. This is what acupuncturists use. This is where they point these needles at to try to get energy to flow through the body from one spot to another. Now, the yin is negative feminine energy and the yang is positive masculine energy. Now, the thing is, when you look at the earth itself, it is basically made up the same way. It has ley lines, or what's known as the Becker-Hagen's grid. Now, at the Becker-Hagen's grid has points of electromagnetic energy that's supposed to flow all throughout the earth. And what people have found is that at these points, there are monuments. The pyramids are supposedly built right under one of these electromagnetic points. And when you look at these points all over the planet, you have pyramids, or you have monuments, or you have temples, or you have some kind of structure at all these electromagnetic points around the earth. We even have American military bases at some of these electromagnetic points. So the theory is that they somehow tapped into this electromagnetic field and was somehow able to use it to help them build the pyramids in theory. So when you think about it the same way of the balloon rubbing against your hair or sticking to the wall, think about the bricks of the pyramid, the big, huge stones. If your third eye is awakened and you have a knowledge of energy, if you understand how energy flows and you can actually see it and you can tap into it, then the theory applies to the bricks as well. So if you can steal the electrons from these stones and positively charge the stones, then you can possibly lift the stones. You can possibly make them move. Using electromagnetism, you should be able to move these stones anywhere you want to move them without having to use any real physical strength. And being under these ley lines or in these huge magnetic fields, it probably would be very easy for you to build them or to move them using electromagnetism. Now, this is in theory. So, what do we call many intersecting points forming a group of connecting grids? We call it a matrix. Now, what does a matrix or a grid look like? They resemble a net. They look just like nets. What do we call Earth? We call Earth a planet or a planned net. When you look at the whole Becker-Hagen's grid, it's like a net around the Earth, a planned net around the planet. Now, this is something I'm going to get into a lot more in a later video. Look at the Matrix movie with Neo. Neo is the anagram for the one Neo, however you want to look at it. Now, remember when Neo goes into the Matrix, when he goes to see the Oracle. Now, the Matrix is basically like, a computer-generated dream world. He goes into the dream world to speak to the Oracle. Now, the Oracle can represent a lot of different things, but let's look at the Oracle as our subconscious, trying to give us some information and show us the truth. But we have to become aware of what this Oracle or what this subconscious is telling us. When Neo first walks into the kitchen to see the Oracle, it's a sign over the door that she makes a note of. She tells him, it says, "Know thyself." Now, in the ancient Egyptian mystery schools and a lot of the classrooms, a lot of the temples, they had over all the doors, "Man, know thyself." And we know Socrates stole it and copied it and said, "Know thyself," and a lot of people give him the credit for it. But he walks into the kitchen, he speaks to the Oracle, she tells him the information and whatever like that. Now, at the end, when Neo is about to become the one, he dies first, and then he wakes up and he is the one. He is awakened. His third eye is open. And how does he see the world? He sees the energy. He sees the world as the way it is. And then from that moment on, he is all powerful. He can fly. He can do things and move stuff with his hands. He can stop bullets because his eye is open. His one eye is open. So now he has this power where he is all powerful. Now, in theory, once you do this in theory in the dream world, you should be able to do everything that Neo does. But remember, in the second Matrix movie, this power transfers into the real world. So in theory, you should be able to do some pretty amazing things. I mean, if you understand how energy flows, if you understand the process of healing yourself, in theory, once you open this third eye, you should be able to, recharge with no problem or heal yourself with no problem in theory. Now, another cartoon or movie that's in theory of things we should do, and I strongly believe he's talking about, opening the third eye and, becoming all powerful, is Dragon Ball Z. Now with Dragon Ball Z, I believe that Akira Toriyama, he actually was trying to tell us about meditation and about awakening the chakras. You got 7 magic balls, you got 7 chakras. You get all 7 balls together, it awakens this dragon, and this dragon comes and grants you your wishes. Now the dragon represents Kundalini rising up the spine like a serpent. And you awaken that third eye and you can grant your own wishes. Now, when we look at certain things within the whole Dragon Ball Z universe, just look at Goku himself. Goku was powerful. I don't want to get into the whole Saiyan thing because that's a whole nother thing. And I might save a lot of parts for, a later video that I might do specifically on Dragon Ball Z because there's so much metaphysics and so much stuff involved into that whole cartoon. Now, the whole Dragon Ball Z universe is all about energy, getting your energy up, getting your energy to certain levels and evolving and ascending to different power levels. That's what the Dragon Ball Z thing is all about, becoming stronger. Now, when you watch a Goku train, when you watch like Piccolo train, they always go into like a meditative state sometimes. They do physical training, but they go into meditation a lot and train. You see Piccolo do it a lot of times. He'll go into meditation and then he'll manifest like 2 Piccolos and they'll go, start attacking each other and training. Now, Akira Toriyama, he's a genius. I believe that he got a lot of the character of Goku from Bruce Lee. When you look at Bruce Lee, when he wasn't fighting in the movies, he was this funny guy. He joked around. He was just a different guy when he wasn't fighting in his movies. But once he got into a fight, it was like a different dude. He just changed, became meaner looking, and, it was like a whole nother person. He wasn't to be messed with. It's the same thing with Goku. Goku is a goofball. He jokes around, he plays around. When he's with his friends and family, he's like a whole different person. But when it comes time to fight, he powers up and, it's game over. He ain't playing no games. Now, if you read the book by Bruce Lee called 1 Inch Punch, in that book, Bruce Lee is talking about energy and distributing energy at the time of impact and building up enough energy to, strike an opponent and cause the maximum amount of, damage or force at a close range. And I remember from Dragon Ball Z, it was the Cell saga when Goku takes Gohan into the hyperbolic time chamber and they are training. Now, Trunks, he thinks he's this all-powerful dude and, he gets these big bulky muscles and he's not able to catch Cell and, inflict the maximum amount of damage because he didn't develop his energy in the right way. Now, you remember back in the hyperbolic time chamber when Goku goes into meditation. He goes into meditation, he builds his power up. And then, Gohan is like, you did it. You transformed. And then Goku is like, no, I didn't transform. I developed my muscles. And, in this state, I can't really move fast. I can't really distribute the energy that I have in the right areas to apply the maximum amount of damage. So I thought that was like amazing that, Akira Toriyama must have read that book. And I'm paraphrasing here, but when you read the book and look at the episode, it's almost talking about the same thing with the whole, content of the episode and the content of that book. But he really gets into energy and gets into meditation in the Dragon Ball Z saga. And it's amazing when you really start to go through Dragon Ball Z and look at the whole metaphysics of it. So I just wanted to give you like a basic understanding on, the dream world and energy and chakras. And, we talk about these things in a lot of different ways. I wanted to give you some of the theories that people have about what happened once you open your third eye or awaken this energy. Now, I have my own theories and my own personal beliefs that I believe what this whole thing is about. Because you have to think about it. When you go to sleep, if you don't waken that third eye, if you don't understand what's taking place in the dream world, then you don't understand that you are asleep. You don't understand that your body is in the bed. So when you die, what happens? If you don't know that you're asleep when you sleep, when you die, do you know that you're dead? Do you know what's going on? And this is like what a lot of movies like The Sixth Sense and other movies speak about, what happens? You don't even understand in the dream world what's going on when you're alive. When you're dead, then what happens? And a lot of people, a lot of Buddhists believe that you reincarnate. If you don't get this knowledge, if you don't understand and awaken that third eye, you don't know how to ascend to the next level. You don't know how to go on. So you have to come back. I mean, when you look at what we have found on this planet, over the years, I mean, we have human remains that we can carbon date and things that we can carbon date that go back hundreds of thousands of years. We have proven that human beings have been on this planet for over 100,000 years, over 200,000 years, 300,000 years, that humans have been on this planet. So why is it that we just now, within like the last, you might as well say like 6,000 years, got to this level of technology? Now, I don't know what happened on this planet before, but it seems like all of a sudden, within the last 6 to 8,000 years, we just started getting to where we are at today. You would think that we would have figured this out, 100,000, 200,000 years ago when you look at where we are at today. I mean, look at the 1400s. In the 1400s, I mean, look at the way things was. We had boats and everything like that. But look at the 1400s to today. I mean, that's a major difference. We go from boats to having ships and planes and trains and all kinds of stuff in that short period of time. I mean, that's a major jump in just a couple hundred years. You would think, 200,000 years, I mean, we would have figured this stuff out. We would have figured out the TV and the automobile and things of that nature a long time ago. But it seems like the people back then was just, on a different note. They was just, had a different mind frame or something. But, it seems like something happened on this planet. Something happened to people. And when you look at the way society is set up, it's almost like they don't want us to develop our mind. They don't want us to awaken our third eye. I mean, look at TV. I mean, TV could be one of the most damaging things to you awakening your energy, because when you go to sleep, you are constantly having dreams about things that you saw on TV. It affects your mind. It affects the way that you dream. And it's going to have a strong hold over you when you try to control the dream world. So when we look at the chemicals that they put in food, the way we treat the planet, the way we treat each other, our music, the way we socialize, the way we talk, what we wear, all of these things have negative effects on our body and negative effects on our psyche. They affect the dream state. They affect the way we think and focus. So many things that we look at as normal affect us every single day. And it's hard for you to just meditate them away. It's hard for you to just, meditate on them and deal, get rid of them, but you have to deal with them every day. You have to deal with them every day on a conscious level. It's like, I don't have a choice. I have to go to work. I got to feed my family. But you go to work around these negative people in this negative environment, and the whole time you're there, you feel some type of way. And, I don't want to be here. I want something better for my life. I want something different. And it's hard for you to come out of that. So, it takes a lot of meditation for you to deal with that, inwardly, to have to, meditate and then get up, go to work and deal with that on a constant level. That's something that sticks with your energy. It sticks with you. And you have to do a lot of energy work to get that out of you. And this is what meditation will help you with. But it just seems like the way the world is set up, they don't want us to reach this level. It's something that doesn't want us to become who we can become, to reach our full potential. So some people, they search for the purpose of life. They always ask that question. What is it all about? What is our purpose? Why are we here? A lot of people turn to religious doctrine to get the answers to that. And, I have a lot of videos on religion. A lot of people turn to, different things to try to deal with, life, to try to understand what's the point of it all. Why are we here? Is it really all about material and getting money and, fast cars and big houses? What is it all about? Why were we put here? And I honestly believe we were put here to ascend. I believe that is our purpose. Our purpose is to awaken that third eye, to awaken that crown chakra, and to become who we are meant to be, to understand the dream world. And I believe that whatever you're doing in life, if it's not about trying to become conscious in a dream world, you are only hurting yourself. You are not living out your full potential, and you will, you'll probably be back here. And I honestly believe that's what happens. I believe you die and you leave your body and you don't know where to go. And somehow you reincarnate. I don't know how that whole process works, but this is what I believe. This is what my research has led me to believe. It has something to do, and I know a lot of people ask me, do a video about Saturn and the moon. It has a lot to do with the moon. It has a lot to do with the sun. And that's something I'm going to get into at a later video. But I don't think I've done enough videos before that to lead up to that point, because a lot of other things people got to understand. I really want to start getting into quantum mechanics and quantum physics and stuff like that before I get to this point, because it's just not going to make sense. I don't think people are going to be able to connect a lot of those dots. Some of you are. A lot of you people are seriously smart. Comment section, you know, I love the comment section. I'm in there. I try to, you know, answer a lot of questions when I can, but I'm amazed at how smart some people are, and a lot of people know their stuff. But at the end of the day, we are all in this thing together. The problem is there's so many things that separates us and keep us separated, like, you know, religion and race and, you know, sexual preference. These things tear us apart, they keep us apart. There's so much hate and fear that's just, you know, wrapped up in the world and so many different things. And a lot of people get caught up in these things. And a lot of people don't deal with that, you know, that energy. And that's something we have to deal with. You got to deal with all this negativity and just, you know, meditate on it and just get rid of it. Get that energy out of it so we don't have to deal with it and feel it on a daily basis. But I think a lot of people get me confused. They think I'm this big Afrocentric guy who's all about, you know, Black power and Black lives matter, you know, all lives matter. I'm not about just Black people. I'm about unity. It's 2015, about to be 2016 soon. If y'all cannot see after all this time, after all the things they have been doing, that they obviously want to keep us apart, then you are a part of the problem. You can't see all the tricks and all the little teeny things that are in the way that they are using to keep us separated, then you don't want to see it. You have to realize that they want this separation. They don't ever want us to unite, because if we ever unite, then we'll realize who the real enemy is. It's not Black, it's not white, it's a government system. It's this whole thing that we call the Illuminati, this whole thing that we call, you know, the Freemasons, or whatever name you have for it. It's a group of people, and they make up Black, white, Asian, what have you, that they don't care about race. They don't care about all this stuff. They care about division so they can keep us controlled. They care about running the whole goddamn planet, and they don't give a damn if you're Black or white or what have you. A lot of white people died in 9/11. A lot of white people died at Pearl Harbor. A lot of Black people get killed in so many wars, just like white people. We are all dying left and right. We need to unite and come together and realize who the real enemy is. So I want to thank everybody for watching and for, you know, just clicking on this video and, you know, using your time to actually, you know, watch this video. You know, I always like to thank people for actually taking the time out their life to actually watch my videos and to actually see what I have to, you know, say. It really does mean a lot, and I really do appreciate all the support as always. So thanks again, and I'll see you guys next video.